Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your weekly Wednesday podcast.
Sometimes.
Every time. Except for the last two times, because we weren't here for LVO. But yeah, I am Jake, and what does Reese say? Join next to, or it's always something different. Join next to me is the one and only, the world's greatest, something.
There you go. That's
Frankie GM, Papa Daddy.
We need to have like smoke come up on the screen when it's announced. It's like the WWE like walk onto the stage. Like, here you go.
100%. We should work on our intro and make it super like animated and stuff. But that's
what we should do. We should just animate ourselves. So it's not even our faces, just animations.
Like celebrity
really
deathmatch status. If you know what I'm talking about. We were talking about that the other day because that's definitely like an old school show. MTV in the 2000s.
I think it was early 2000s. Yeah, that show was great.
No, it was awesome. Yeah, claymation signals. I think that's what we're sidetracking on already within the intro. So I kind of flubbed that, but it's okay. And the reason why that Reese is not joining us here today is because he's becoming a daddy. It's go time.
That's right.
It's go time.
Baby is being born.
You know. But yeah, sorry everyone that we missed last week's. Did we miss 2 weeks? Or I think it was just last 2 weeks. Yeah. All right, it's fair. All right, we missed two Signals episodes because, for those that don't know, we were at the Las Vegas Open. So the LVO is one of the world's biggest gaming or tabletop gaming conventions. And recently for this year, we not only moved dates for the very first time, but we also moved venues into the World Market Center. And honestly, it's a lot of work, guys. We've mentioned this a few times in the past, but we're a pretty small team, all things considered. So we're all hands on deck. Frankie and I personally, our personal involvement and workload within the LVO probably took us down and out for a good solid 30 days for the lead up on things, not including like what we do on site. And for those that have not, or that did not attend or have not attended an LVO, Frankie like literally sits up front and just champions the front reg desk. Like, you wouldn't think one of the owners of the company would do that, but that's that personal touch. For me, you usually see me like Usain bolting across the hall. Whether it's the back or wherever I'm just like a flash. But no, teamwork to make the dream work.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it takes the entire team, right? We have our entire team there. Some of our painters are there. Like, it's the entire Frontline gaming crew. So if you've never met some of us, if you come to LVO, you'll literally be able to meet whichever participant you want to. But yeah, like Jake said, running two in the same year, do not recommend. It was a lot of work, but we really pulled it off. Like it was really impressive to see, especially the community's reaction to the new venue and everything. Like, people are like, wow, this is quite the upgrade. So we feel pretty good about that. But yeah, the logistics behind actually running two events with over 3,000 plus people in the same year is a lot of work. Like we said before, we didn't really have a choice. We had to sign a new contract. Otherwise, they weren't going to offer us a venue. So there were a lot of things that pushed us into it, which is why we ran the two in the same year. But we still had a ton of people show up that were loving it and are super excited for next year. So.
Yeah, I couldn't be more grateful for all the faith that the community had within our decision. It was not a light one to make. Moving something that's so big and of epic proportion like this, that's been running successfully for 11 years, right? So this was our 12th one, and really believing that we did it for some kind of good reason or another. It's not like we woke up one day and was like, hey, let's try to just roll the dice with the LVO. But I think the overwhelming positive reaction and that we had saw, and I'm sure you saw it up front too, Frankie, but like just that was like the first sense of relief that I had. So because like we'd been on the ground in there since Tuesday, and it's a Thursday. It's a show that starts on Thursday, by the way. or maybe I was there since Monday. I don't remember. It's all a blur at this point. But it's like all the logistics that go behind things like this. And any of you out there that are listening that are actual like event runners or coordinators to any degree, like, you know, I know you guys will appreciate this, but it's like everything that happens at an event, no matter how big or small, it's someone thinks about, someone, you know, organizes, someone coordinates something. So it was a lot of heart and soul that went into this one, especially with that pressure of like, I don't want to say like proving to everybody, but yeah, I don't think that's the right word. I think the right term of what I'm trying to say is to deliver on all the positive changes that we knew that this venue, this massive hall venue at the World Market Center could really bring to the next generation of LVO. And that was absolutely a sigh of relief when it's like, oh, cool, we didn't completely shit the bed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like Jake said, this entire move is for the community and everything else. Because, you know, this last, or in 2025 in January, the first LVO that we ran this year, unfortunately, we had to cut some events. So there were a lot of events that were in years past that we just didn't have the space for. We were bursting at the seams. So, and, you know, obviously we want to, this event is for the community. We want people to be there and participate and hang out with their friends. So we were like, well, we need to make a jump. We need more space. So this was the logical next step. And unfortunately, like we said, that we had to sign the contract and all this stuff to run one this year. But it was awesome. Like everybody that showed up was like, dude, this was sick. This was like the best LVO I've been to. This new venue is awesome. Like, so we were like, oh, sweet. All right, cool. The community loves it. We pulled it off. That's good. That's good. So I really have a feeling that 2026 is going to be ludicrous. And like, I think I didn't hear a single person that was there that was like, I won't be here next year. They're all like, I can't wait for next year. It's going to be sick.
Yeah. So, and already right out of the gate, we've already got, you know, improvements, not only from the logistical end, but we've got some upgrades between, like, now we have a relationship with the food trucks. Now we have a relationship with like the food that was on site. Because what was amazing was having those food trucks outside on top of like the food and beverage that we had inside. But the food trucks, you know, they were so well received that, you know, like 2 or 3 more want to jump on for next year, you know, stuff like that. But now that we know where everything goes and like how LVO gets templated inside, like we already know what we need to change within like the floor plan and what quality of life adjustments we make. And actually, speaking of quality of life, for those that were there, I'm sure you did appreciate the space around the tables. So a lot of people were saying, I don't know if you heard this, Frankie, but a lot of people were making the joke like, you know, once in a lifetime opportunity that each table or each 40K table at LVO is its own island. Well, yeah. You know, no, because quality of life is why we made this move. So like everybody I interacted with was, I was just reassuring them like, look, quality of life for events, you know, for FLG events, like is an absolute priority. Like, why do we want to be packed in like sardines? Because dude, you're a player, I'm a player. Like we prioritize, you know, the gamer experience. So at most, even for 40K, like we can double easily for, like basically go back to our original numbers for 2026. We could double, and at most it's going to be for 40K specifically. It's going to be a 2 table pot. You know, you shouldn't have to catch an Uber, in my opinion, to go around to the other side of the table just to check a line of sight angle.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think that was probably one of the biggest things that people were mentioning is they really liked the new space and the spacing around the tables. So like Jake said, the quality of life, all of the feedback, super positive. So, and for most of our events, that's our goal, right? So we will be keeping the tables as much as we can separated. So no packing people into sardines and things like that. The goal is that everybody kind of has their own space and is able to enjoy it, just like everybody did at this LVO. So
yeah, no, it was great. And that's like, that was testament to one of the big, you know, downfalls with the space restrictions that we did have at the Rio, at the previous space, where like it was cool, it was epic having all of 40K in one hall, you know, the big pavilion hall.
Yeah,
but it was literally like rows of 6 at times. Yeah. I think that's what we had to do to accommodate the 1100 or 1050 that we had in January. That's not comfortable. That's not comfortable, man. So this just means that we could easily do 1400 in a very, very similar footprint as if you were there to experience LVO 40K this year, or whether you're seeing the pictures, you'll see how spread out everything was and the footprint that it took. So we could easily do 1,400 and go at max a double table pot.
Yep. Yeah, no, we're super excited. And like we had a Magic there as well, and they were super excited too. Like all the players, there were a bunch of people that showed up. They're like, oh shoot, I didn't even know there was Magic going. So we're excited to see how that event grows next year. David was pretty excited for the first year turnout as well. I think they had over 100 players. So not big bad for a first
Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a really good job. They ran a really solid show. And they brought quite a few Magic players there. So excited to see that event grow next year as well.
If I have one message for any TCG player, event goer that's listening randomly to FLG signals from the Frontline, please buy your tickets in advance. Yes. We're not used to it. We're not used to this whole 30-day. Not even like, it was like a 2-week surge, like where everybody bought their tickets. We're like, how does anybody function this way?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that. And like the TOs, like that's totally normal. He's like, they'll wait till the last second to get their event tickets and stuff. And we're like, how do like just TCG events survive? Like, how do you logistically survive that? Like that's crazy. To where I guess you just hope you're just planning for max capacity and hoping that everybody shows up. Like, that is ludicrous to me. Anybody that's run events and stuff definitely understands what we're talking about. But
yeah, it's
because like things like you have to order tables ahead of time. You have to order, you have a food and beverage that you have to sign ahead of time. There's all these things that you have to do ahead of time based on what you think your attendance numbers will be. So if you're not selling tickets until the very end, you're like, oh, okay, I guess living on a prayer. Here we go.
But no, there were so many positives at this one. But I'm like, I don't know about you, Frankie, but I'm already like right from the get-go, because this is the first one, like as intense as this one was. So I think this is the third official, like in my more official capacity that I've helped out on for LVO, or like had a bigger part on. This is the first one that I didn't feel completely destroyed afterwards. From like a physical and like an emotional toll, like for as much as that we had to put in for this, because it was like 3 times the amount of like on-site vendors that required organization. Everything was a new template, so every experience and journey for the attendee was different. The exhibitor hall was different. Like rigging, because we actually had like cool signs and stuff that was different. Electricity, like basically everything had its own vendor and like multiple points of contact. But despite that, like I felt pretty like charged and ready to go after we took some downtime. And I'm like, I'm already blasting stuff out for next year, so we can get set up. So already like looking forward into just expanding on this template that we wrote out for LVO. Like even having 2 room blocks, I think that's going to be the coolest thing. Like hotel room blocks. Golden Nugget was awesome. I stayed on site too, so I enjoyed the free concert every night. I was there, guys. I just passed out. I didn't put the headphones or the earplugs in. There's that new hotel that opened across the street that was only like 2 or 3 weeks before LVO had happened. So it's a Marriott property, and so but that's literally across the street from the World Market Center. So those that want a bit more of a quiet experience, and for those that want that Fremont Street vibe, which, dude, it was a blast. There were at least 2 occasions where I accidentally like ended up on Fremont. Like after shuttling back from the show, just because like you just run into people, you got that whole camaraderie after hours experience. But yeah, like legitimately I would end up on Fremont just because it's right outside the door, and it was great.
No, it was a lot of people are like, dude, Fremont's so cool. I'm like, yeah. Fremont is like where all the locals from Vegas go. So like it's such a fun vibe, and it really is. They call it the Fremont experience for a reason. Like it is an experience, and it's not for everybody. Like Jake said, we'll have 2 room blocks next year. So if you want to just stay across the street from the venue, super easy. You literally just walk out your front door of your hotel and you can see the venue, and you just walk across the street. Like it'll be really easy. So you can go to either of those. But we had a shuttle going the entire event shuttling people from the event hall to Fremont. Everybody said it was super easy. They just said, it was going every like 30 minutes back and forth. Next year, we're going to add some signs. So there was a little bit of people were like,
we didn't know we could. We didn't know we could.
We had no idea that you could add signs to the buses. So next year, those will have signs. So it'll make it a little bit easier. I didn't hear anybody like really having that big of an issue finding them, but it's just like those little quality of life things. We're like, oh yeah, that is a good idea. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, dude. Before I got on one for the first time, like those buses were legit.
Oh yeah, they're sick. Yeah.
They were like way better than any. It's been a minute since I've been on like one of those tour buses. But way better, like first class. Whatever those things are called, like carrier coaches, or I don't know what they're called. But they're
tour buses or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like huge. Like basically the buses that football teams like drive in and stuff like that. That's what they were. So like people like had like entire rows of themselves and stuff when they're going. They're like, it was super easy. They just jump on, jump off, like nice. So yeah, people really love that. And then dude, my favorite part is like when you walked into the gaming hall. Number one, the little arch thing that we made was sick. But then once you walked in, you're like, oh shoot, this is massive. You're like, this is a con. This is sick. Whereas like the Rio was awesome. Like the carpeting and stuff made it feel really like homely, but you never got to see all of the halls unless you like really walked around. This, you walk in, you're like, oh, this is massive. This is everything. This is cool. So people really enjoyed that. And obviously the giant banners that GW had set up were super impressive. So right when you walked in, you just saw these like massive GW characters all the way across. You're like, this is sick. It felt awesome. And like all the attendees are like, dude, they were like coming up and like high-fiving us at registration. They're like, this is sick. Like, I cannot wait to bring my friends and stuff next year. So yeah, it was exciting.
No, it was tremendous. It was a lot more to see, a lot more to do, and yeah, to the wide open space alone, like that's been the vision. It's how are we this one big con, but then we're all separated by like breakout rooms and stuff. Like I don't know, it's just like a weird thing for that whole con, the convention vibe of things. But no, I can't, dude. I'm so stoked. I already can't. I can't wait. Like I legitimately can't wait now because like all the unknowns on our side are check marked off.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm just like fly. We just fly.
Yeah, I'm totally in the same boat. Like Jake was saying, like most of the LVOs were just like so drained. We're like, oh my gosh. But like this one was it was so impressive even to us because like it was like we're like, oh shoot, this is awesome. That like I'm excited. I'm like I'm in the same boat as you. Like I'm literally planning for next year already. Like I'm already talking to YouTubers, getting them all excited, like planning out like, okay, this is where we can move this. Like what was it, Monday? We all sat down and we're like remapping out the hall to like move things around and all this stuff. Like in the past, that'd be like a 6 months later project, but now we're like so excited. We're like, oh yeah, let's move this over here. Let's add this in. Let's call these people. Like we're juiced. And like, it was really the vibe that like really energized us. Like all of the participants and stuff were just like, they were like coming up to us, like so excited. So we're like, oh sweet. All right, cool. All right. Now I'm super excited for next year too. Let's get this going. So I think, next year is going to be awesome. Not to downplay what we did this year. Like this year was amazing. Like so many people. It's always great to see all of our friends. There were people that hadn't been to LVO in like 4 years that were there. So it was like really cool to catch up with everybody and get them excited about what the future holds for LVO. We'll be adding more events, partnering up with like board game groups, expanding on Dungeons and Dragons, having after hours events going on at the event hall every single night so people can participate in. Like we've got so many plans to really grow it and continue to grow it. And then eventually, hopefully we can jump into the convention center and start to fill that up and bring more and more people to come game. So
no, it would be insane. Yeah. I mean, speaking of after hours too. So like we did a couple outings just for anybody that wanted to come out. It's harder. After hours parties are harder for especially at like tabletop events just because like we're working like 14 hours and then players are playing for like 12 hours. So it's kind of like it's an odd time of evening to go out and party, but we did. And so actually, I was going to ask about this because like I know that we've mentioned this in the past about the whole like pub crawl that we used to do at the LVO. So I never partook in one of these, but someone did mention it. Someone mentioned it. It's like, this is why I'm having so much fun. Like, this is why we need to bring the pub crawl back. I'm like, I never experienced one, but it sounds kind of dangerous. Like, in one way.
Oh yeah, it was legendary. It was a Coop, one of our friends, Cooper Waddell. He would always run it, and he would be out. They'd be out till like 3 or 4 a.m. on this pub crawl, and it would be like last man standing. So it'd usually be like Cooper and like 2 random people just like hanging out, but like that late, and then they would come back and play games the next day, and they're all just like wearing sunglasses and rough. I would usually meet up on the pub crawl in like the 3rd bar and like say hi to everybody, and then I'm gonna go pass out. I'm not gonna make it to the end. I never made it to the end of one of those, but yeah, Coop would do it every year. I think he had family stuff this year, so he couldn't make it, but he's definitely one of the people that I'm going to try to get out for next year so we can bring it back, because I think it's been a couple years since we've done the pub crawl. So
that's probably the better route. Have someone else run it, because
we can't do it ourselves.
Believe it or not, we have that whole like liability thing,
and we're exhausted, like working those long days. So
all it takes is one like visual challenge. I'll just stare at you in the eyes, Frankie, and be like,
"There you go.
That's it. You're going to bed."
That's it. Yeah.
No, come on, challenge
me, let's do this.
That sounds like a bad idea.
No, yeah, for sure. But why don't we talk about some of the cool things that we had this year that we didn't like, especially the Vanguards area. I know you helped coordinate a lot of that, so why don't you give the people what they want to know about the Vanguard Recruitment Center? I don't know what it was called.
No, I was super thrilled to see how that came out. Massive shout out to Steven Box and his entire team at Vanguard Tactics, because they flew out like their crew. They had some like local members as part of their academy to come help and stuff, but for the most part, they went all hands on deck as well, like literally shuttling a good portion of their crew right after they even did like the LGT, which was like the week before. And they all came out to put this together. So what Vanguard Tactics does is they have been putting together the VT Academy. So basically it's like a workshop, that helps players like elevate their tournament experience or their gaming experience, and even like tactics and comprehension of 40K specifically. But relatively last minute for this year, so a concept was then proposed, and I do say last minute.
Yes,
I think we put this together within like 30 days, because we were just trying to like line up schedules on top of everything else. So like, we came up with this idea of like, what if we do like let's support like newer players. Like, what about first timer workshops? Learn to play 40K. Because Vanguard Tactics primarily focuses on 40K, so right up their alley. But everything being catered towards like the more seasoned, the more experienced is cool and all. But I see very, very, very little out there about first timers. So VT put together the My First Tournament workshop experience, and then the demand on that, like, oh my god, that was it filled up fast. It filled up fast to the point where we allocated an entire Vanguard Tactics like footprint in front of the stage, because another one of the programs that we debuted for this year was the Live Lounge. So we had I think it was like 4 or 5 speakers on stage, hosted by Steven himself, on Friday and Saturday. Everyone from like Phil the Glacial Geek. We had Mr. Bones, who's like a big 40K narrative speaker. We had Dan Osborne, super awesome painter. I think I was the last segment on there. Yeah. I was. I was there in body. No, it was good. But yeah, just even having that like interaction, because like one thing that I also felt like we weren't able to ever do based off of space and layout at the Rio was actually do kind of like that seminar element where it's like talkers and speakers and on a more like accessible format. So that was going on simultaneously while like Vanguard Tactics had their academy footprint, so it wasn't like it was like a fixed place, and I thought that was super awesome. But feedback's been great on that, and I think you know, with a little bit more than 30 days notice, you know, and people knowing with people knowing the whole my first tournament program would exist, I think it's going to be extremely popular for 2026.
Absolutely. And I think it has so much potential to really like grow and like add other game systems, right? Like, I mean, how many people want to come to a con and play a new game and like learn how to play it and all that stuff? That's a perfect time to do it, right? So like, hey, come enjoy the full convention and then learn how to play Kings of War or whatever game system you want to. So that'll be a cool thing to pair up with some of these manufacturers, especially for these new bloods and things like that maybe don't play on the regular. So yeah, so I'm really excited to see all that grow. But yeah, Steven's area was awesome. Like the stage was really impressive. It was cool to see all of the things that he had going on, and people were just laughing and having a good time. So that's always my favorite part about these cons is just seeing the smiling faces like all over the place. You're like, all right, cool. So yeah,
like you were saying earlier, that played a big part. That does play a big part in the energy of like event staff. Like on our end, it's like, you know, we feel bad if the majority are not enjoying the food options, or, you know, not enjoying like the venue itself or the space and such. So it's like feeding off of, you know, I completely support what you said earlier, is like feeding off of that positivity is probably what kept us in the fight for the long hours that we were afoot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we've only had a few times where it's like a lot of people like really complained about like food or like the venue itself. And we try to get out of those areas as fast as possible. Cause again, like these events are for you guys. Like they're not for us. We're not the participants. So we take all of the feedback very seriously and really evaluate everything every single year. And especially with big moves, like moving the LVO, dates and everything else like that. That was a big decision on our part, but it was legitimately for you guys. We had like 10 game systems that couldn't participate in January, and we're like, well, that's unacceptable. Like let's get more space. Let's do it.
It's like the opposite of our slogan.
Yes, exactly. Supposed to be the champions of tabletop, not the gatekeepers of tabletop here. So but yeah, no, we're super excited, and I believe like almost everybody that was there was just loving it. So I can't say it enough. I've said it a million times already, but I'm so excited for 2026, and I love this venue. This venue is sick. So
no, I had a blast. But yeah, dates are already out, guys. So FLG Events Hub, so events.frontlinegaming.org is where we host and house all of our information starting from this year. So our entire calendar, except for one event, I'm still working on that. But our entire calendar is out for the year, including the LVO, and adding in that imagery, or adding in, the date of when to expect ticket sales. Because we believe that planning ahead of time is just as important to the community as it is to us. But yeah, LVO's 2026 dates, like our bodies are already ready, but tickets will go on sale in April, and the event is the same pattern, early or first weekend of October. So October 1st is set for this year.
Yeah.
Next year. Jesus.
Next year. We're running a third one. Surprise.
We still have December, guys.
But yeah, no, some other cool things that we had going on. The hobby hub was like right there, right next to GW laser tag, which their laser tag was super awesome. For some reason, they closed it on Sunday. So we took everybody's feedback, and it will be open on Sunday when a lot of people have free time. Cause that makes a lot more sense.
We have some tweaks. Like that's one of the events that we have some tweaks on. But again, it just came from like, none of us had ever done this, in here type of thing. So even with GW, show them some grace.
Yeah, for sure. But I had a guy run up to me. He's like, dude, the laser tag's so awesome. He's like, I just did this cool thing, and he's like, the judge like commented, he's like, that was the most orky thing I've ever seen. And he was playing on the side of the orcs. So he's like, it made so much sense. He's like, you ran up, you killed the guy, and then just walked off the objective to win the game. So he just like walked away from it. The orc was like, yeah, I got the kill. I'm out of here. I don't need this objective. Like, that's amazing.
He's probably celebrating October.
That makes sense.
Probably making it, bringing you back.
Totally makes sense. But yeah, bag check was a huge hit too. People really loved it. You could check in your bag at any time during the day, check it out, whenever you wanted, or we could keep it overnight and you could get it the next day. People really enjoyed that. They're like, wow, this makes a lot more sense. So I was like, yeah, we always talked about doing it at the Rio. We just never had like the space for it. So it was nice to actually have the space to offer it. Turns out when you're a war gamer and you have big bags and stuff, you don't really want to cart those around. And even the Rio, I mean, you walked almost a mile back to your room. So it was a lot to carry back and forth. Yeah. So that was a great service that we offered this year, and we'll be improving it, obviously, adjusting times and adding in some other things to make it an easier experience for everybody that participates.
Yeah, we'll make it more clear that you can buy like a single day pass, like for those that are only coming in for like 2-day events or like a 1-day event. It was an option, but we'll make it more user friendly. We'll make everything more user friendly, dude. I'm jazzed. Like I just kind of remember like half of the things that we were talking about when we did our post event recap, but I'm jazzed already by the changes.
Yeah, no, I cannot wait. But yeah, we had some, like Jake was saying, there's always hurdles and new spots. So it's, even if the staff looks a little calm, we're usually like a duck. So we got our legs going crazy underneath. Like what was it? We had like 400 tables not show up on setup day. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We had some fun hurdles to deal with. I think at one point the shuttle got kind of the shuttle company messed up something. There was like Sunday. A block of like an hour and a half that there was no shuttle, and we're like, what the hell? So like myself and then one of our employees, Leo, jumped in our cars and we gave him the Frontline gaming shuttle. So we were driving back and forth for like 30 minutes until the buses got there. So it's just always like doing those kind of things. So like, all right, let's make sure we double check this. Let's add this in. Let's add in these safeguards. So yeah, we're always looking at improvements. And then thank you everybody that filled out the survey too. All of that information just helps us to improve the next year.
We really do read those. Like,
yeah,
we're really crazy.
We're on fire and forget.
So like I promise people, like we don't necessarily make decisions, all solely based off of like whatever our gut feelings is. It's like there would be no point in making any changes or doing anything that y'all won't like. Simply put.
No, exactly. And like the center bar was pretty cool. They had the guy like took it upon himself, the bartender, to like make it like D&D based. So it was like, oh, +1 regen if you get this drink, like all these things. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, dude. So those would be things that we expand on next year to make it even more exciting.
Our bartenders there were like they were the true OGs of LVO. Cause the only conversation that so I had with basically like the food and beverage in regards to that in advance was, hey, our guys are our crew's asking, can they like dress up and stuff? I was like, dude, by all means, please. Like, and so sure enough, like he was cosplaying, I think, for majority of the days. And then on top of it, he took the reins on the naming conventions for the drinks. I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah,
I love it when things come together.
Absolutely. But yeah, the food trucks were awesome too. I think, unfortunately, there was a chunk of people that didn't know that we had food trucks. But like the food trucks were incredible, and like everybody was just like hanging outside. That's the other beautiful thing about LVO being in October, is it tends to be really good weather in Vegas. So it's like you can actually hang out outside. Whereas in January, it's usually like freezing. Like half the time we had snow or rain. You're like, oh my gosh. So this is nice. So everybody's just like hanging out, having a good time, eating the good hibachi and things like that from the food trucks. So yeah, I'm excited to add more of those next year. And we'll be doing some videos too. Like, hey, here's some things you need to know about LVO 2026. The food trucks out front.
Well, we have footage now.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't have it before. So yeah, but that was kind of like a last minute thing too. Is like we didn't know that they had food trucks, and they're like, oh, we can offer you some food trucks. We're like, oh, what the heck? So we tried it out, and people loved it. So I think that'll be something that we definitely expand on next year.
Dude, I don't think it dawned on many people, because like probably a lot of our LVO goers have only come to Vegas potentially within like the January timeframe.
Yeah,
that's not that far out to say that perhaps a lot of people's Vegas experiences was out here in January. But I don't think the dots connected until people started posting them in the pool having a drink. While they're out here for LVO. And it's like, that's big possibility. You can do the swim up bar, Golden Nugget, swim with some sharks, have a drink, the day before LVO. Like, I don't think
Absolutely.
LVO's ever been associated with swimming pool.
No, it's usually like cold. You're like, oh, that's weird.
Right.
It's funny because like you really think about it, and it's like we ran like half, or I mean, I guess it makes sense, but half of our events were like cold season wherever we're running our events. We're like, it's so weird.
Yeah. So that was like, well, yeah, even like walking outside, like sometimes I just needed a break, so I just walked out to, get some sunshine and, be in a t-shirt and soak up some sun for 5 minutes before going back in. But no, the weather really is like October's like, I was saying this before the event because I've been out here in Vegas since 2002. I'm like, October is like legitimately one of my favorite weather months.
Yeah. No,
and then it gets all like weird and rainy and cold.
Oh man, but yeah, some awesome events going on too. We had the Long War doubles. Kenny and his crew came out, ran that, the inaugural. They run it like every year, and it's just such a fun thing to watch, and like everybody's just so juiced. This year they gave out special dice, so they had special dice along, and their mats looked amazing this year. Those looked really cool. So everybody that participates in that gets a cool swag. Plus, you get to hang out with Kenny, and Kenny is awesome, dude. I've known Kenny for years. He's such a character. I love that guy. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do in 2026 as well, expanding on that. So
yeah, and even Virgo's Vault for the VVMC, so the Virgo's Vault Masters Championship.
That sounds right.
Hopefully I didn't butcher that. VVMC. So they started running and debuted the first ever VVMC at January's LVO, and we're talking like a super serious like painting competition. This is outside of like 40K Champs has a hobby points or ITC track, all that. It's completely outside of that. We're talking like Golden Demon, Crystal Brush, like that caliber of participation. And oh my god, like some of the entrants, like they will blow you away. But it's not just for like pros. They have multiple different categories. Mm-hmm. So they have so they include like a various levels to not prevent a massive barrier of entry, but even a kids category. Just my kid didn't want to do it. I think he wanted to go open magic packs with. Yeah, I think he wanted to go open magic packs with Leo or something.
Yeah.
But that's we're talking like museum level experience. So them having kind of their own space to do that this year was phenomenal. But I think I might participate in that one next time.
You definitely should. But dude, I'm sure you saw it as much as I did. But dude, the display boards out and about at the hall were incredible. A couple of the guys put their display boards in the Varicose Vault Museum so that people could walk around and see them.
Oh, did they really? Nice.
Yeah, but they were freaking awesome, dude. Some of these, like, they were just like murals and like crazy like battles going on their display board. I was like, this is impressive, man. This is so cool. I always love looking at all the art in the hobby. Like when you walk around, you're like, man, there are some impressive armies and models on all these tables.
Yeah, paint job's one thing, but yeah, when you see the whole when you see the whole shebang, with the whole display board, like if you've never made a display board before, small or big, like try, and then you'll really appreciate some of these pieces.
But yeah, no, we're super excited. We hope all of you guys are that are listening, and anybody that didn't come, just look forward to 2026 because you're gonna be blown away. You better put your socks on so we can blow them off, right? That's what resellers used to say back in the day. We got to throw in a little racism there since he's not here. He's having his baby.
Yeah. So. I like how he still wanted to try to come out. I think he mentioned that on his last episode. The last episode, we're like, no, don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a hop, skip, and a jump back home.
No, exactly. It's just not worth it. It's your first kid.
Yeah, babies don't care about your plans. They'll do what they want to do.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all we got for the. I mean, there's so much to go over on the LVO. It's like we said, there's thousands and thousands of people, like hundreds of events going on. But yeah, just get excited for next year. We're so stoked as more and more things evolve, we'll let you guys know like some more exciting things that we have going on, and get you guys as amped up as we are, plus all of the people that attended. So I'm sure you're going to be seeing it all over the place, like how much fun people had. So.
No, most definitely. Yeah, and if you missed out, there is our January slot again, also in Vegas, by popular demand, the Las Vegas Teams Tournament. So LVTT has finally made its return.
Yes.
At the World Market Center, but in the Super Baller, like 6th floor or 25th floor?
Yeah,
it's called the Skyview. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it lives up to its name, lives up to its Skyview name, because you get a panoramic view of the entire city. I'm so obsessed with that. But it is just, it's a 40K event, LVTT. One of my original favorites that I participated in personally. But yeah, five person teams, and in collaboration with the NTL and the ATC. So it's gonna be a good time.
Heck yeah, can't wait for that one too. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and then shortly thereafter, we'll have the Cherokee Open at the end of February in North Carolina. I'm still surprised to this day that how quickly that one became one of my favorites. I just didn't appreciate it on paper, but then when I finally went, I'm like, I see the magic. Like that.
Yeah.
That resort's so awesome. It really is a getaway. Like that's ultimately what it is. But no, yeah. So Cherokee Open tickets are on sale. Got a lot of big events that take place at Cherokee, including Kill Team, like a super legit 40K narrative, by the way, for this year.
Yeah.
So, that's something to be excited for. Of course, like the 40K champs, which we spread across 3 days. The schedule is better. We can actually grab a drink and, party the night before and not have to do a 12-hour grind.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of exciting things coming up on the FLG events side of things, just as much as Frontline Gaming in general, because we got Black Friday and stuff, Frankie.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're right around the corner from Black Friday. Anybody that's followed us for a long time knows we always do big, exciting things during the month of November. So yeah, just keep your eye on our newsletter and listen to the podcast, and we'll fill you guys in once we get ready to launch all of that stuff.
Yeah. Not only discounts for Black Friday, but also hot new releases.
Oh yeah. The hottest of new releases all the time, every year. Yeah, but yeah, thanks everybody for being patient with us as well. We know we missed 2 podcasts. We've been working to try to catch everything up within the warehouse since LVO. It's always like we said, we take our entire crew, and we've got a small crew, so we're getting everything back up. I think our secondhand shop should be up hopefully by the end of today, so then you can get those used models. And we're working on getting all of the orders out, so everything should be caught up hopefully by the end of the week. But yeah,
it's only Wednesday, so it's looking pretty good for that.
I know.
I'm still at the point of I forget what day it is.
I know, dude. I know. I thought today was Friday, so I just gained 2 days. I'm gaining. It's good. It's good.
Oh, so you were in emergency mode probably when you woke up, or
Yeah. I was like, oh, the week's over. Oh, crap. So it's good. Good news. But yeah, that's all we got. We're not won't just keep talking your ear off about LVO, even though we're so excited. But thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Hopefully Reese will be on. Maybe he'll even be holding his baby. So send him much love and best wishes. Cool.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.